Why is it so hard to let go of stuff, even when we know we don't want it anymore? If you have ever held on to something out of guilt, not love, this conversation is for you. This is the real reason getting rid of things is so hard. Hi, I'm Jen from Second Chapter Love. This is a week of a series called Becoming Guilt Free in Your Second Chapter. And today we're starting with something that sounds simple, but carries a lot of emotional weight and more than we expect. That's the clearing clutter without guilt. After the holidays, especially, we are surrounded by things, right? Those gifts we didn't choose, items tied to people that we love, and those things that we feel like we should keep. Suddenly, letting go feels really heavy, not because we love something and we love it, but because of what it represents. You look at something and you think, well, they meant well, they spent money, I should be very grateful. And that guilt quietly says, right, it's sitting right there, you can't get rid of that. But here's what I've learned, especially in a second chapter of life, that guilt usually is not about the object. It's truly about the story that is connected to it. When you've lived through a big life change, divorce, loss, starting over, those stories feel even more loaded. That marriage, the home that's gone, a version of ourselves that we have completely outgrown. Letting go can feel like we are being ungrateful, disrespectful, or we're erasing something. And that's really hard to take because we don't want to be thought of as the kind of person who just throws things away, right? We want to be thoughtful, we want to be kind, and we certainly want to honor our past. But honoring your past and being trapped, they're not the same thing. So here's the truth that changed things for me. Letting go of an item is not letting go of the memory, it's not letting go of the love. Memories do not live in objects, they live in you. That person, the season, that moment, it shaped you. It's part of your story. That box in the closet is not what keeps it there, right? There's a difference between holding on to things and holding on to memories and holding on to guilt. Guilt says you owe that object something, you should keep this, you're a bad person if you let things go. Freedom says I'm allowed to choose what comes with me in this next chapter of my life. That can feel so scary at first because that guilt feels responsible. That freedom feels wildly unfamiliar, right? So that person that's helped me through this, it's does this bring peace or not? When you see it, do you feel light or you do feel this obligation? Put it back in the box. You better keep it. Or do you feel joy? Or a quiet ugh that you have been ignoring, right? So much of clutter isn't about the space. It's about the emotional weight that we carry. So even if we have the space for it, it's still really heavy on our heart. So here's another mind shift. Keeping something doesn't erase the person, and releasing it doesn't give ingratitude. You can be thankful someone thought of you, right? And you can still decide that item doesn't belong to your life right now. You can say that was meaningful in that season, right? And then say, this doesn't come with me into the next season. That is not cold, even though for so many of us it feels that way. It's actually growth. And that's the growth we're looking to make with you. Sometimes letting go looks like donating, driving it around in your car till you get there. Sometimes it looks like passing on that item to someone else. Sometimes it just looks like saying thank you and releasing it. You're not doing that in anger. You're not doing that in rejection, but you are in peace. You are moving forward into an open space. This season of life, your second chapter, you are allowed to choose ease. You're allowed to keep what supports you and who you are now. It's not just who you were, okay? So it's not just who someone else needed you to be. You are allowed to release what doesn't fit, and honestly, who doesn't fit anymore, even if it once did. And you can do that without the guilt. This week, it's not clear it all out. Okay, just notice what's around you, especially as you're cleaning up from the holidays. Notice where guilt's making decisions for you. Notice what you feel pressure around. Awareness is kind of that first step of the freedom that we're going to take moving forward. Because clearing clutter isn't about having less, it's about making space for what is next. And that next can be very exciting. If this resonated, tell me in the comments. What's one thing, right? One thing you've struggled to let go of, because I can promise, are not alone in this. Next week, we're going to talk about another kind of guilt that we carry into our second chapter, and Phil will be back for this one. This is the emotional baggage from past relationships. That one goes even deeper. So before we get there, let's try and find space this week. Find one or two things, drop them down in the comments, and join us. This second chapter is going to be an exciting one for you. I will see you there next week. Phil will join us back from the warm weather. Have a wonderful week, and let's help you remove the guilt.